دونه لا يستطيعون نصركم ولا أنفسهم ينصرون وإذ تدعوهم إلى الهدى لا يسمعوا وتراهم ينظرون إليك وهم لا يبصرون خذ العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان نزغ فاستعذ بالله إنه سميع عليم إن الذين اتقوا إذا مسهم طائف من الشيطان تذكروا فإذا هم مبصرون وإخوانهم يمدونهم في الغي ثم لا يقصرون وإذا لم تأتيهم بآية قالوا لولا اجتبيتها قل إنما أتبع ما يوحى إلي من ربي هذا بصائر من ربكم وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون صدق الله مولانا العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah Qari Anas. Over to Imam Tariq.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So I would like to draw everyone's attention to verse 178 and 179 and 180. So those three verses are the verses that I'll discuss tonight, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in these verses, whomever Allah ta'ala guides, man yahdillah fahuwa al-muhtad. So guidance, if somebody is guided, then this guidance comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if somebody is misguided, unfortunately, then they are the ones that have lost out. وَمَن يُضْلِلْ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. So Allah ta'ala, He sets up this dichotomy of who's guided and who's misguided. And under the principles of la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, Allah ta'ala refers this guidance to Himself, meaning that Allah ta'ala is the one that guides us, and Allah ta'ala is the one that can allow somebody to be misguided. So it's a simple dichotomy, fair enough. Then Allah ta'ala, He says that He has given as a warning the threat or the punishment of the hellfire. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ. So many of the jinn kind and mankind will end up in the hellfire because of their not heeding, not listening, not being guided. But then Allah Ta'ala, He gives us a series of descriptions of what guidance looks like. He says, لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. That the people that are misguided have hearts that do not understand. This is something that I mentioned a couple nights ago, that in our understanding, in the Islamic understanding of what we are as a person, as a human being, it's our heart that is the rational faculty. The heart is where the intellect is, not just the brain as we would understand in the Western world. So Allah Ta'ala is asking us to understand the Quran with our heart, to understand it rationally, to understand it intellectually, to understand it emotionally, to understand it with all of our being. And this is something that is very ubiquitous in the Quranic message, that Allah Ta'ala refers to the heart as the seat of the intellect. But why this is significant also is that the heart can be polished, the heart can be cleansed, the heart can become illuminated. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ سِقَالَةٍ. Everything has a polish. وَسِقَالَةُ الْقُلُوبِ ذِكْرُ اللَّهِ. And the polish of the heart is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So remember this hadith, because it will become in handy when we get to the last verse. So the people that are misguided, they have hearts that do not understand. وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا. They have eyesight that they are not able to see, reflect, and understand what's happening around them. It's as simple as just open your eyes and look around you. People that are misguided, they are almost as if they are blind from the world around them. وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. And they have ears that they do not hear with. Now, of course, Allah Ta'ala is not specifically speaking to the physical sense. It doesn't mean that if somebody is blind or somebody is deaf, they're misguided. No, he's saying from a spiritual point of view, they are not thinking and contemplating. So the heart, as the seat of the intellect, the eyesight, and the ears, these are the senses that we use to process the information that comes into us from the world around us. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we read the Quran and we're reading this message or we're reading guidance from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, we're taking this information with all of these senses. It's like a very visceral thing for the Muslim. You're all in it. You're all in it, really dissecting and absorbing everything that Allah Ta'ala is telling you with everything that you have. So the people that don't think, they have no emotions, they can't see, they can't hear, Allah Ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. They're like cattle. As a matter of fact, they're even worse than the cattle. Because at least the animal is doing what it was created to do. Allah Ta'ala did not create us to be deaf, blind, and dumb. Allah Ta'ala created us to think, to see, to hear, to articulate, to process, to tie information together, and then to communicate this. So this is a very descriptive. Now, of course, Allah mentions them in the negative. Now you can look at them in the positive, that the person that is guided is the person that is reading the Quran with their heart, they're reflecting, they're listening, they're seeing, and they're trying to tie things together. This connecting of the dots is a very important trait that we must develop as humans. Not to see everything as silos, as individual and separate, but to see the connectedness of everything around us. The other night, a couple nights ago, I talked about history, for example. There's a lot of lessons in history, whether it be recent history or ancient history or whatever. When you look in the patterns of history, Allah Ta'ala tells us that there are patterns. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. These days of power and loss of power, Allah alternates throughout history. Allah gives power to some people and then He takes it and gives it to somebody else. Allah gives us this meta concept so that when we go back and we look at history, whether it's political history, economic history, military history, social history, we see these patterns. So part of us reading our faith with our heart, with our eyes, with our ears, is that we are connecting all of these things together. And then Allah Ta'ala caps this discussion and He says, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. And to Allah belongs the great names. فَدَعُوهُ بِهَا. So call on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with these names. وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ. Leave people that are lying about God. Leave people that are making up names about God. Leave people that don't know what they're talking about when it comes to Allah. Don't worry about those people. You focus on Allah, call on Him with His great names. So يُجَزَوْنَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Those people that are lying about God, they're going to get their pay in the hereafter. What is the significance of Allah's divine names? We know the famous hadith that Abu Huraira narrates, that's in Bukhari and Muslim, that Allah Ta'ala has 99 names, 100 minus 1. Whoever memorizes them, knows them, will enter into the paradise. And this is the famous formula that we know, that Allahu ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, al-Malik al-Quddus, al-Salam, al-Mu'min, al-Muhaymin, al-Aziz, al-Jabbar, al-Mutakabbir, etc. till the end of the 99 names. The ulama understood Allah's divine names to be of three types. There are the names of Kamal, the names of completeness. These are the names and attributes that you could only describe God by them, the all-hearing, the all-knowing, the all-seeing. And then there are names and attributes of beauty, Asma'ul Jamal. The names of beauty are like the merciful, the compassionate, the loving, the subtle, the gentle. And then there are names of majesty, Asma'ul Jalal. Allah is Al-Jabbar. Allah is Al-Muntaqim. He is the one that gives life, causes death. He is the one that avenges, etc. The ulama, when they understood this, tripartite differentiation of the names, they said the reason Allah Ta'ala does that is to remind us that the names of wholeness, of completeness, these are the names through which we worship Allah Ta'ala. We remember that Allah is all-seeing, all-hearing, all-knowing, all-able, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The names of beauty are the names that we are to adopt the human version of them. So like God is merciful, we are to be merciful. Like God is beautiful, we are to be beautiful. Like God is compassionate, we are to be compassionate. And then the names of majesty are not for us to adopt the human version of. And to further emphasize this scheme, we are reminded that every chapter in the Quran, except Surah At-Tawbah, which will come next, begins with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the merciful, the compassionate. So Allah chose, and in the Shafi'i madhab, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is an actual verse of each chapter. So from that point of view, Allah chose as a verse in the Quran, and the phraseology Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim appears 114 times in the Quran because it comes in the middle of a verse in Surah An-Naml. So Allah Ta'ala chose this phrase 114 times to emphasize for us that Allah's mercy, that Allah's beauty is, and Allah's love far outstrips Allah's justice. And therefore, when we worship Allah Ta'ala, when we call unto Allah Ta'ala, we are worshiping a loving God, a merciful God, a compassionate God, a God that we should be optimistic in our worship of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And that's the secret to the previous two verses about the difference between who is guided and who is not misguided. If our understanding of our primary text, the Quran and the Sunnah, if our practice of Islam brings out from us this love, this compassion, this forgiveness, this solidarity, all of these positive qualities, then that means that our understanding of Islam has been right. That's how we can check our understanding. If our practice of Islam has led to some sort of anger, frustration, hatred, animosity, then something has gone wrong. Because Allah Ta'ala is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. The Prophet ﷺ is the Prophet of mercy. إِنَّمَا أَنَا رَحْمَةٌ مُهْدَاةٌ. The Prophet ﷺ said, indeed, I have been sent as a merciful gift. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have not sent you except as a mercy to mankind. There are no names of the Prophet ﷺ that are like vengeful names. All of the Prophet's names are names of beauty and praise. Furthermore, to emphasize for us that we are to remind ourselves that when we call unto Allah, as he says in this verse, call unto Allah with those names, make dua, make dhikr with Allah's names. Remember that Allah Ta'ala is merciful, is compassionate, and therefore we should be that as well. And I'll conclude with this to emphasize this message. We have a tradition in the circles of learning that when we go to study with a teacher for the first time, the teacher narrates for us what is called the first hadith. And many of you have heard me say this before. And the first hadith, it is narrated by Imam At-Tirmidhi, and it is a Sahih hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhum ar-Rahman, irhamu man fil ard, yarhamkum man fis sama. The merciful ones receive mercy from the merciful one. Show mercy to all those on earth, and you shall be shown mercy from the one in the heavens. And the reason this is the first hadith that we hear from a teacher is that this hadith reminds the student that your whole job in learning the Sharia sciences is to inculcate this hadith, that you be a vehicle of this mercy. And therefore, you begin that journey with that lens. You're wearing a certain type of eyewear that has that filter of mercy in it. So when you read the Quran, when you read the Hadith, when you read something in Islamic history, you are looking for that clue, you are looking for that understanding and that interpretation. And that's how you keep the balance between the person that is guided and the person that is misguided. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those that are guided. Last thing I wanted to say is that there's a great book by Imam al-Ghazali describing and commenting on the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can easily find it. It's like a short book. And I recommend for people that are interested in this idea of Allah's divine names to get Imam al-Ghazali's book. And hopefully, maybe inshallah, when we get back to the mosque, maybe this can be one of the things that we go through as a community. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. I ask Anas inshallah to conclude with the dua.
Anas. Anas, we ready to get started? You're good.
اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك بالكفار ملحق اللهم أعنا ولا تعن علينا وانصرنا ولا تنصر علينا واهدنا ويسر هدانا وانصرنا على من بغانا اللهم تقبل توبتنا وأغسل حوبتنا واجب دعواتنا وثبت حجتنا واهد قلوبنا وسدد ألسنتنا واسلل سخينة قلوبنا اللهم إنا نسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والسلامة من كل إثم والغنيمة من كل بر والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث اللهم اصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين ولا أقل من ذلك ولا أكثر اللهم نسألك من الخير كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ونعوذ بك من الشر كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم اللهم إنا نسألك صحة في إيمان اللهم إنا نسألك صحة في إيمان لا يرتد ونعيم لا ينفد وقرة عين لا تنقطع ومرافقة نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم في أعلى جنان الخلد اللهم أعطنا ولا تحرمنا وزدنا ولا تنقصنا وأكرمنا ولا تهنا اللهم يا فالق الحب والنوى ويا منشئ الأجساد بعد البلاء اللهم نعوذ بك أن نقول زورا أو نغشى فجورا اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق وأعمالنا من الرياء وألسنتنا من الكذب وأعيننا من الخيانة اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك به نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك اللهم من شر ما استعاذ به نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ برضاك من سخطك وبمعافاتك من عقوبتك ومنك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم صل وسلم على النبي المصطفى والرسول المجتبى وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Jazakallah Qari Anas. Over to you, Imam Tariq, to conclude us.
Before the quick dua, I put the title of the Ghazali book in the chat of the Zoom call. So for all of those that are interested, you can grab that. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with all of his blessed names and all of his blessed attributes. May he forgive us for our shortcomings and our sins. May he accept our fast and our prayer. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us benefit from this month of Ramadan. May we arrive at Laylatul Qadr. May our du'as be answered. May the COVID-19 be alleviated. May we be back in our mosque safely. We ask Allah ta'ala to have mercy on those who have passed before us. We ask Allah ta'ala for his rahmah and his maghfirah for our parents. And we ask Allah ta'ala for his protection for our children. We ask Allah ta'ala to help our economy and to help our businesses and to help our facilities and to help our schools and our masajid. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give wisdom to those who are making decisions on our behalf. May they be guided to make the right decision. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to join us sooner rather than later. Inshallah, may we experience the beauty of this blessed month in the days to come, in the nights to come. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.